Colin, I welcome you to lead us forward on today's workshop.
Thank you so much. Hello, everybody. Welcome today. So to start off, I am from Alberta, Canada. I've been practicing Samarpan Meditation for about 7 years now. And I'm an automotive service technician. I would like to give a little bit of background of how I got here. So growing up, I was Catholic, and in my teenage years, I would say I became almost atheist, but I always felt this like search for something. In my early 20s, I was going to different churches and things like that. I was drinking all the time. And then one day I stumbled upon a word, and it was called an empath, the ability to, feel other people's emotions. And I was curious about that. And that led me to go get a Reiki treatment. And while I was there, she handed me a CD, and she said, "I think you'll really like this meditation." And it was Swamiji's original chant. And I put it on, and I had no idea what was happening, but I loved it. And I just sat every day for 30 minutes. And then slowly, with no effort by myself, my life started to change in these magical ways. It's hard to put your finger on how meditation enters your life, slowly but surely. You don't want to maybe hang out with the same people. I for sure, the biggest difference I noticed when I stopped wanting to drink. I stopped wanting to do any drugs or anything like that. And it wasn't hard. So that's like my little introduction on how I got here. I just want to ask the audience today, how are you feeling right now? How are you feeling? Something about Samarpan meditation is about the feeling, what's going on in your internal world is a very important question. There's no wrong answer either. So I can see that, some people are stressed. Some people are feeling very calm and relaxed, happy. Some people are indifferent, and that's good. I'm happy that everybody is having different emotions. It's important just to really know how we're feeling. So why should we meditate? This is a really good question. The way I like to describe it is we have a picture of a hurricane here, and the picture of the hurricane is kind of a picture of our lives. The outside of the hurricane, all crazy things are happening, but the inside of the hurricane is calm. And in our lives, outside of our lives is always going to be chaos. You can't control the things outside of your own life. So what can we do? Well, our internal world, the center of the storm, that is what we can make calm. And that is why I like to meditate. When I meditate in the morning and then I go through my day, that internal world, it feels like I'm almost immovable. And that feeling it's so calming, Now, there's a lot of other benefits to meditation, reduces stress, it brings you balance, it improves productivity and satisfaction, promotes peace and harmony. And there's tons and tons of science of what it does to the brain. So if you would like to go research that, you're more than welcome to. But for the purpose of this, your internal world will become calmer. But I wanted to just leave you guys with, well, how do I meditate the Samarpan method? It's so simple and it's so easy. It's just, I'm a holy soul. I'm a pure soul. And then you just say that 3 times, and then you sit and you focus on the crown of your head for 30 minutes, and you sit still and you just surrender your thoughts. But I wanted to give you guys just an idea of how simple the Samarpan method is. But my mind is so busy. So this I struggled with a lot at the beginning when I started meditating. A lot of people don't even start to meditate because they think their mind's too busy. Well, The first step in meditation is actually to control your body. And I had to go all the way to India to learn this. So when I first started meditating, I was fidgeting like crazy. The first step to meditation is don't move your body. Let your thoughts run wild. It's okay. Don't move your body. Let your body sit still, right? And then once you can sit still for 30 minutes, right? Then you can focus on the mind. It'll happen naturally, but focusing on the body so the body sits still, and it'll be itchy. You'll feel it on your face and you'll want to scratch so bad. You just have to let that go and focus back to the crown. The next thing is about the mind itself. The tricky thing about the mind is that you cannot control your thoughts. You can't stop your thoughts. You can't say, I'm going to stop thinking, because that's a thought in itself. The goal of meditation is actually just to increase the distance between your thoughts. And you say, well, how can I do that? So by focusing on the crown of our head, what'll happen is your mind is very good at distracting us. So all of a sudden we're going to start thinking about something. Let's say, oh, what am I going to eat for dinner? And you start really imagining it. And then there's going to be a point. And there's always a point, no matter what thought path you're down, when you realize that you're thinking about something. You have an awareness that you are thinking. And you say, oh, I'm supposed to be focused on my crown. And it's at that moment that you can choose to either focus back on your crown or to continue thinking about dinner. The goal is to go back to the crown. And then the practice of that, the practice of continually going back to the crown, every time you're realizing you're having a thought with no judgment, eventually the distance between your thoughts will increase with little to no effort. So the next thing about meditation is to think about the different parts of ourselves. So who's driving this body, this car? So I love the car analogy. Obviously, I'm a mechanic. And we have this body, and that's like the tires of the car, the windshield, right? Then we have our mind, and the mind is like the computer, the engine, the transmission. And then we have who's driving the car, right? And that's our soul. So we have the mind, body, and soul. Now, this is a tricky car. This is a Tesla. And a Tesla has a self-driving option. So our mind, it loves to drive the car. So we think we're driving the car down the road, but really it's our mind. It's things are happening automatically, and we're not actually in control of our mind, body, soul. So we want the soul to be driving the car. And that is another benefit of meditation. It helps us realize who's driving the car down the road. So the next section we're going to talk about is just the different aspects of Samarpan meditation. So you heard me say the word soul. Soul is the awareness, the connection. It's that bond. It's the thing within you that seems to survive no matter how much you change. If somebody met you as a young child and somebody met you as an old adult, it's like there's something about you that never changed. It's the thing that follows us through life, or even multiple lives, depending on what your belief is. Soul is the thing in our chest that connects us to other beings, to other people. It's what allows us, to feel a tree, to feel a friend. Soul is a very large part of Samarpan meditation. And the more we meditate, the more we get in touch with that soul part of us. The next thing about Samarpan meditation, number one, it's free. So many people get on these live calls and they expect to be sold something. We're not here to sell you anything. We really do only have one pure desire, and that is for the world to meditate. That's my pure wish, is just for people to start meditating. So you're never going to be asked to, you have to pay $99.99, to join this call. No, you can join any day of the week to meditate, and it's accessible by anybody in the whole world. The other thing about Samarpan meditation that's different than a lot of other things is it's very simple. There's no do's or don'ts. You know, a lot of different religions and things like that have all these rules. In Samarpan, there's no rules except for meditate. So for that reason, it's so simple, and the practice itself is so simple. You know, it's just meditate. Something that I really love about Samarpan meditation is the support and the collectivity and the strength of the collectivity. I'll never forget going to India. So I'm a happy person in general, right? And I do work in a mechanic shop, so it's not always the happiest of environments. And I'll never forget my first time going to India, going to the ashram. And we're sitting down, and I just remember looking around and just seeing so many people with love in their hearts. And I could feel the love and I could feel the connection. And even just now, it makes me want to cry because I had never been in a group of 140 people with that much care for each other. And nobody has ever met anybody. And then slowly throughout the experience of being at the ashram, I'm having a hard moment meditating, and then I talk to somebody and I just feel so supported with love, and it's incredible. The other part about Samarpan meditation, when we meditate in a group, we get the benefit of everybody meditating, right? So it's hard, especially when I started meditating. When I meditated by myself, it was terrible. I would just think and I'd fidget. Now it's online, but I would go to a local meditation circle. And when I meditated with the group, I got these really amazing deep meditations, and it felt so good. The group actually helps your mind calm. The group helps you meditate. Again, the global community. And through Samarpan, I have met so many different people, and nobody's discriminated against, doctors, lawyers, mechanics, military people. Like, just the diversity within Samarpan is truly second to none. And it really warms my heart to know that you could go into any retreat or anywhere in the world and you will be treated with love and respect. And that really, just something about that, especially in modern society today, when, if I go many places, I feel like I'm going to be judged, especially, in early when I was going to all the different religions. If I didn't quite have their faith, like, I felt really judged. Whereas Samarpan, it doesn't matter. You could, if you believe in Jesus, that's fine. If you're a Hindu, that's fine. Just meditate. So the next thing is, who is Swamiji? Every time I see his picture, I just smile. Swamiji is a simple householder. So something very interesting about Swamiji, and if you read his books, is he was a businessman, just living his life. He always had that question. And then one day someone showed up at his house and said, it's time, and he left his life to go pursue the questions that he had within himself. He's a yogi and a spiritual master. He's an enlightened soul, and he is the founder of Samarpan Meditation. But he says himself all the time, like, I'm just a simple householder. He has a wife, he has kids. A lot of times I found in my search, that it was almost unattainable. You had to go and had all these rules, and then Swamiji comes and, he has a wife and he has kids. And it felt much more attainable for me to reach a high state. And something about that really just, hits home. So Swamiji has some pure wishes. He just wants to help people to progress spiritually. He wants everyone to become their own guru. Now, this really was an interesting thing to me, for somebody to have a pure wish that you don't need to like listen to him and you could just look within yourself to find the answers. Like, something about that, again, it just like, it just makes me feel warm and fuzzy. World peace. Swamiji talks a lot about world peace. But again, going back to the eye of the storm, to the hurricane, you cannot change other people. All you can do is change yourself. And by you changing yourself, you change other people, right? So by you meditating, you're affecting the world. And that is how we bring about, world peace. And a universal family, again, we talked already about Samarpan as a whole, but just a place where everybody can come together and be loved and respected. And every time I read this, I've practiced this slide a few times, and I really get to feel all these different things that Swami wants, and they're just pure, there's no ego attached. The next thing is like, who or what is a guru? So something interesting for me, coming from North America and coming from the Catholic religion, is the word guru felt really heavy to me. It felt like I almost couldn't fully follow Swamiji because it felt wrong somehow. And then I started to investigate, well, words mean different things in different parts of the world. Like you can go to Europe and one thing means something, and you could go to Australia and it means something else. And as I started to really go to more Samarpan events, I started to learn that word guru to me is actually more like a teacher, like a spiritual teacher. And when I shifted that within myself, Swami's a teacher. It's like, that feels different in my chest. It feels much better. And over saying that over a long time, now I understand, to me, that, guru and the word teacher are just interchangeable. It's a teacher of, spiritual things. And it's something that held me really back. And I really wanted to make a slide about that, about how, the word guru, it's just a word, and to other people it can mean certain things, but how I like to think of it is just a spiritual teacher. Why would you want to listen to Swamiji? So this is great. But the left picture, you see this, the beautiful energy out. And I have a story about this. So I went to India and to the international retreat, and we got to ask Swamiji questions. And I'll never forget this. And I put up my hand and I stood up, and I asked a question, but it was like I got all my questions answered. Like he just looked at me, and it was like more than one line of information was coming at me. I don't know if you've ever talked to anybody where, you're talking to them, but it's like you're getting more than just what they're saying. And like, I've talked to some people and I'll get 2 lines of information or 3 because I can feel their emotions. Swamiji looked at me and he just said, forgive, forgive, forgive. And 5 lines of information came at me. Now, the crazy part is when I went to sit down, I have very tight hips. And the whole time during the retreat, my hips hurt. And I'd never been able to sit cross-legged on the floor. And without realizing it, after he talked to me, I sat down and I sat cross-legged, and I didn't know. And then all of a sudden I looked over to the guy next to me. It's like, I'm sitting cross-legged. Like, what the heck happened? The only way I can describe that experience is through energy, Swamiji's aura, Swamiji's energy, affecting my physical reality. And if you had told me that, I don't know if I would have believed you. Even me telling you, you might not believe me, and that's okay. But it was one of the experiences that really allowed me to understand that there's more than what we can see with our eyes. And the next thing on the right here, Swamiji talks a lot about a mango. And the truth is I don't have the time or the desire to walk around the Himalayas for half my life. Thankfully, Swamiji did do that. Swamiji, he went to the Himalayas, he talked to all the gurus, he spent the time meditating, and he's made it very easy. He waited under the tree for a mango to fall, and then when it was ripe, brought it to me. Like, it doesn't get any simpler than that. It doesn't get any simpler than somebody just giving you, and all you have to do is just listen. All you have to do is sit and meditate. So now we're going to meditate and just listen to a short video.
आप लोग अपने शरीर को एक मोबाइल समझो.
And so take your body to be a mobile phone.
जिस प्रकार से हम मोबाइल को चार्ज करते हैं ना, ठीक उसी प्रकार से केवल 30 मिनट अपने आप को दो.
So just as we charge our mobile phones, you to give yourself 30 minutes every day.
और 30 मिनट में अपने शरीर को चार्ज करो.
And in those 30 minutes, recharge yourself.
दूसरा, ऐसा नहीं कि मैं हिमालय से उतरा और मेरा ओरा खूब अच्छा है. मैंने संसार में आने के बाद में, फैमिली में रहने के बाद में, सब लोगों लाखों लोगों को मिलने के बाद में फिर ओरा का प्रगति हुआ है.
It's not that I had this aura in the Himalayas. I have come into society, I have a family and I live in society and my aura has developed over time.
मैं रोज केवल 30 मिनट ध्यान करता हूँ, बस, बाकी कुछ नहीं.
I just meditate for 30 minutes every day. I do nothing else.
और एकदम मंत्र सिंपल है, सादा मंत्र है. मैं एक पवित्र आत्मा हूँ, मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ.
And the chant is very, very simple. I am a holy soul. I am a pure soul.
जब मैं बचपन में था ना, तो बचपन में ये मंत्र मेरे भीतर चलता था.
When I was a young child, this chant used to play in my head
उसी को मैंने मंत्र
constantly.
बना दिया.
And I made that a chant.
लेकिन उसके पीछे मेरी 60 साल की साधना है.
But this chant is backed by my spiritual practice of the last 60
और उसके
years.
साथ लाखों लोगों की सामूहिक शक्ति, कनेक्टिविटी है.
And it is also backed by the collectivity of hundreds of thousands of people around the world.
जैसे आप ये मंत्र के माध्यम से ध्यान करेंगे, आपको भी उनकी सामूहिकता का लाभ मिलेगा.
And just as you will meditate with this chant, you too will benefit from that collectivity.
कुछ नहीं, आज मैं आपको ध्यान करना सिखाऊंगा.
Today I wish to teach you how to meditate.
और इसी पद्धति से आप केवल 45 दिन आधा घंटा ध्यान करके देखिए.
And you practice this for 45 days.
आपको अगर अच्छा लगा तो आप आगे कंटिन्यू रखिए, अच्छा नहीं लगा तो छोड़ दीजिए.
If at the end of 45 days you like it, continue. If you do not like it, then you can stop doing it.
केवल एक बात कहने की, इसमें अपेक्षा के साथ इस मार्ग में मत आओ.
I just wish to say one thing. Do not come onto this path with any expectations.
इस मार्ग में मैं कोई अपेक्षा के साथ नहीं आया था.
I have not come onto this path with any expectations.
और आज जीवन के उस मुकाम पे पहुंचा हूँ कि जहाँ पाने के लिए जीवन में कुछ भी बाकी नहीं रहा.
And I have reached those heights in my life that there is nothing else left to attain.
कुछ नहीं, अब हम ध्यान करेंगे.
Now we will meditate.
देखिए, जैसे मैं बैठा हूँ ना, ऐसा बैठने का है.
Now sit like I am sitting.
आप अगर ऐसे नहीं बैठ सकते हो तो आप आपके नंगे पैर जमीन को स्पर्श करो.
If you are not able to sit like that, then place your feet touching the floor. So take your shoes off if you can.
जमीन के अंदर एक गुरुत्वाकर्षण शक्ति रहती है. वो शक्ति हमारे बीमारियों को, हमारे टेंशन को, हमारे तनाव को शोषित कर हमको शुद्ध व पवित्र बनाती है.
So there is a gravitational force in the earth, and through that gravitational force, it pulls out all the negativity and illnesses from our body and makes us healthy.
और कुछ नहीं, हमारे मनुष्य का स्वभाव है, हम जहाँ पे हाथ लगाते हैं ना, हमारा चित्त वहाँ चला जाता है.
It is our human nature that wherever we place our hands, our attention goes to that place.
आप आपका राइट हैंड अपने तालू भाग पे रखिए.
So take your right hand and place it on the crown of your head.
और जहाँ पे तालू भाग पे हाथ रखा है, आपका चित्त भी आपको वहीं पे स्थिर करने का है.
And now just stabilize your attention at that place,
एकदम थोड़ा सा हल्का सा दबाव दीजिए.
at the crown of your head.
और दबाव
Place,
देके 3 बार क्लॉकवाइज घुमाइए.
press very, very gently and rotate clockwise direction 3 times.
और उसके बाद में एकदम धीरे धीरे आंखें बंद करके चित्त को स्थिर करके हाथों को नीचे ले आइए.
Now very, very slowly close your eyes, stabilize your attention at the crown of your head. Bring your hand very slowly down, place it on your thighs.
और पूर्ण भाव के साथ बोलिए,
Now say with full feeling,
मैं एक पवित्र आत्मा हूँ.
I am a holy soul.
मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ.
I am a pure soul.
मैं एक पवित्र आत्मा हूँ.
I am a holy soul.
मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ.
I am a pure soul.
मैं एक पवित्र आत्मा हूँ.
I am a holy soul.
मैं एक शुद्ध आत्मा हूँ।
I am a pure soul.
और अपने चित्त को तालु भाग पे स्थिर करके ध्यान करें।
Stabilize your attention at the crown of your head and meditate.
और पूर्ण भाव से प्रार्थना कीजिए, हे परमात्मा,
Now say this prayer with full feelings. O Lord,
कृपया मुझे आत्म साक्षात्कार प्रदान करें।
please grant me self-realization.
कृपया मुझे आत्म साक्षात्कार प्रदान कीजिए।
Please grant me self-realization.
कृपया मुझे आत्म साक्षात्कार प्रदान कीजिए।
Please grant me self-realization.
तो आपके शरीर में क्या संवेदनाएं होती है उधर चित्त रहे।
Now observe what you're feeling in your body.
अब धीरे धीरे अपने दोनों हाथ अपने आंखों के सामने लाइए और आप आंखों से अपने हाथों को देखिए। आपको महसूस होगा आपके हाथों में से ठंडे ठंडे वाइब्रेशंस निकलना प्रारंभ हो गए।
Now you may bring your hands up in front of your face slowly, and you will experience some vibrations in your hands. You may be feeling some cool vibrations.
देखिए, हम ना विचार दो प्रकार के करते हैं, या तो भूतकाल के विचार करते हैं या भविष्यकाल के विचार करते हैं। आपके दोनों विचार बंद हो गए थे और आपको एक आत्म शांति का अनुभव हुआ था।
Look, we have two types of thoughts. We either think of the past or we think of the future. In this moment, all your thoughts had stopped.
आज ना समय अभाव के अंदर हमने कम टाइम किया, लेकिन ये रोज आपको 30 मिनट करने का है।
Because of time constraints, we have done this in a very short time, but practice this for 30 minutes every day.
देखिए, आप करने के लिए जब बैठोगे ना, पहले आपका शरीर विरोध करेगा।
When you start doing this, first your body will resist.
आपको खांसी आएगी, उबासी आएगी, गैसेस पास होंगे,
You will pass gases, you will feel like coughing,
आपको खुजल छूटेगी।
you will feel itchy.
ये सब शरीर का विरोध है।
This is the resistance of the body.
कितना भी विरोध हुआ तो आपको 30 मिनट बैठने का ही है।
It doesn't matter how much the body resists, just sit for 30 minutes.
फिर आपके मन में दुनिया भर के विचार आएंगे।
And then you will start to get thoughts of from all around the world.
वो विचारों को भी रोकने का कोशिश नहीं करने का,
Do not attempt to stop those thoughts.
केवल विचारों पे चित्त रखो, धीरे 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 विचार कम हो जाएंगे.
Just observe those thoughts, and gradually those thoughts will reduce
उसके
and
बाद में
stop.
आपकी बुद्धि जागृत होगी
And then your intellect will awaken.
और बुद्धि आपको बताएगी ध्यान व्यान तेरे बस का नहीं है, कहाँ आधा घंटा खराब कर रहा है, कितने महत्वपूर्ण काम बाकी है.
And your intellect will start telling you, this meditation is not for you. There is so much work to do. What are you doing here?
ऐसा बुद्धि ने कितना भी कहा ना तो भी आधा घंटा उठने का नहीं.
It doesn't matter what the intellect tries to tell you. Do not get up. Sit for 30 minutes.
मैंने मेरे जीवन का 30 मिनट गुरु दक्षिणा में मेरे गुरु को दान कर दिया.
I have donated 30 minutes every day of my life to my
आपके-
guru.
आपके जीवन के 30 मिनट दान कर दीजिए.
So just donate 30 minutes to me.
आप सोचो आपका क्या जाएगा अगर आपने 45 दिन तक 30 मिनट दान किए तो आपके 22.5 घंटे जाएंगे.
So what will you lose? If you donate 30 minutes every day for 45 days, you will lose 22 and a half hours.
लेकिन 22.5 घंटे के बाद में आपकी दुनिया बदल जाएगी.
But after those 22 and a half hours, your whole life will change.
आपका जीवन सकारात्मक हो जाएगा.
Your life will become positive,
आपको निर्विचारता अनुभव होगी
and you will experience thoughtlessness,
और आपके जीवन में सकारात्मक बदलाव आएगा.
and there will be a positive transformation in your life.
अगर बदलाव आया तो आप उसको कंटिन्यू रखिए, नहीं आया तो छोड़ दीजिए.
So if you experience this positive transformation, you can continue. If you do not, you can stop.
Welcome back, everybody. So the next question is just again, like, now, how are you feeling? How are you feeling right now? Notice how you have changed from the beginning to now. And while you guys are answering that, I just wanted to touch on something else that I had a issue with at first, but I didn't care, was just that I felt, Swamiji doesn't speak in English. And when I went to India, the first time in person that I seen him, it was an event that there was no translation. I had a better experience just sitting, because then I wasn't attached to any words. I had no expectation, and I just got to feel the good vibrations. So don't let words themselves change your experience. So I noticed, I see all your guys' answers, and I just see that we've pulled a lot more down into the calm, the relaxed, peaceful, the happy, the joyful. So that's really good. So one of the questions I want to answer is, why the crown? Why the top of our head? So there's tons and tons and tons of information on the chakras. And if you join the immersion program, they talk more about the chakras. But essentially, chakras themselves are just energy centers within our body. And the crown is at the top. So the energy is stored in the base, as you can see on the picture, the Kundalini energy, and it comes up through to the crown. So if we focus on the crown, it just naturally, effortlessly comes up. And this is different than a lot of other meditations that I had tried in the past, where they got you to focus on the third eye. We want to bring that energy all the way up to the crown so that all the chakras coming up get to be cleared. So the next thing I want to talk about is the aura. We've talked a lot about it. It's like, what is an aura? It's a field that's all around us. It's this protective bubble. There is photography that can capture it. A better way to describe an aura would be, when you walk into a room, or you're in a room already, and somebody comes in, and they come into the room, and sometimes it's not everybody, but you're like, whoa, you feel that person. They just feel like a good person. It's just like something about them you could just tell. Or vice versa, somebody comes in and you're like, ooh, I don't want to go near that person. What you're feeling, what you're tapping into is that bubble that's around them. And something that meditating actually does is it strengthens your bubble that's around you. It changes that bubble that's around you. I've noticed myself that, especially after I meditate a lot and then I go into a mall or something, it's like I feel different. It's like that eye of the storm is so strong. It's like nothing from the outside can affect me. And this is a picture of Swamiji himself and how pictures of his aura has changed, right? And it's quite incredible. And even the bottom right picture, I just wanted to add, that was just taken with a regular camera. That wasn't even a special camera. Swamiji talks, actually, I want to share this, is, there's so many gurus in the world, and they should get an aura picture, just like a driver's license. And then, because our state changes, almost daily. And, if your aura, well, then you should go and, meditate more before you go back on a stage and start talking to people. But that aura, that bubble around us, so another huge thing is, you've heard me say it, Samarpan is about experience. What are you feeling? What are you seeing? What happens naturally with no effort? And I've given a couple stories now where it just seemed like all I did was just meditate, and then my life changed. This opportunity came. I didn't try. Even this introduction workshop, I didn't go out searching for it. It just, Vishal just messaged me and was like, hey, you want to join this meeting? And I was like, sure. So then I joined the meeting, and then now I'm sitting in front of you, giving a presentation. Also, what are you feeling is super important. That's something that I've noticed about Samarpan is, the feeling that I get isn't like, it's hard to put into words, because I've experienced many things, bliss. I've even had some negative emotions meditating where I was crying and I didn't know why I was crying. But looking back on all of it, it was perfect. And it really allowed me to strengthen who I am and how I feel about the world. So now we're going to go into, we have a couple people, and they're just going to share their experience. Both of them did come through the immersion program. So I'm just going to invite Judy to come and share her experience.
Hello, everyone. My name is Judy, and I live in Washington, D.C. with my family. I'm originally from Kenya in East Africa. I've been in the U.S. for about two decades. Some people have asked me, how did you get on a spiritual path? I grew up in Kenya in a Christian family. However, in my second year of high school, I was visiting my older sister in Nairobi. She said that it seemed like I was struggling with my studies. And that's when she introduced me to transcendental meditation. Although I had good results with this meditation, I carried inside guilt because I thought this did not have anything to do with my Christianity background. One day, I tried to explain to my mother, whom I adored very much. My mother said that if this meditation is helping me, I should continue. With her permission, that's when my spiritual seeking began. And no matter what happened or what anyone said, I just kept on going. My favorite part in this journey was traveling to holy places in India and being with gurus either in person or online. I would always look up for events that were coming up so that I could attend. This is how I came across Samarpan Meditation Retreat that was offered by Swamiji online for 8 days last December. I did not have any expectation while attending the retreat. However, at the end of the retreat, I knew something inside had shifted. I strongly felt that which I have been seeking for, going from one saint to another to holy places in India, including living in ashrams or convents, had lovingly and freely been given to me, this time in my living room. These were moments of humility and gratitude to Swamiji and all those who have brought me to this point in life. I do not know the right words to describe the change, the way I feel inside. It is like taking an old car with a lot of problems to the mechanic, and they end up giving you a new car to drive home. This meditation has eliminated many physical issues I had. For instance, I had a frozen shoulder that could not leave no matter what I did. However, as of now, this issue has become a thing of the past. I was filled with a lot of fears, worries, guilt, and disturbing opposing conversation in my mind. Since I learned this meditation, the mind has become so calm, I'm more focused and productive. My creativity and clarity has also increased. Spiritually, inside, there's a feeling of deep peace and beautiful vibrations that go on all the time without any effort. The faith in divine or force way beyond me has become deeper. The other thing that happened is the pull to get involved in negativity is very small and keep reducing each passing day. My relationships are the best they have been in decades. I'm not able to harbor enmity towards others anymore. After I attended the retreat, a few months later, I was invited to attend this program. They call it Immersion Program, and I'd like to share a little bit about this program. So this program is offered freely by the organization to help the new meditators deepen and strengthen their meditation practice. The volunteers are the best I've met on my seeking journey. They're very patient, open, and willing to help upon request. They help equip everyone, even those who are very new to meditation, with the tools they need on their journey. One thing I noticed is that they do not sell anything at all. They also do not have intention of binding anyone. They are on standby for any requests and to ensure you are comfortable as you proceed on your path. I would highly recommend this program. To end, I like to say that Samarpan Meditation is the best gift I've received. I could never do anything to repay this gift. It is my sincere prayer that more people may learn this meditation, which has been so lovingly and freely given to humanity by the Himalayan saints. I'm very grateful to Swamiji and the organization for making this meditation available to the entire humanity. I'm sending all who are attending all my best wishes. Now I'd like to welcome Kiki to share her experiences. Kiki and I were among the people who attended the program, the immersion program that ended last weekend. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Judy, for sharing your experiences. And thank you so much for everybody for having me here today. My name is Rosa, but everybody calls me Kiki. That's my preference. I was born and raised in Hungary, but I call New York City my home in the past 13 years. I work in hospitality, hotel management. I'm building communities. I'm curating communities. I love people. I work a lot with people. I approach everything in my life with passion and with love. And I learned this in a very, very early age. Just like the speakers before me, I was always seeking for something else. Since early age, I always had like a very curious mind. Like I had these thoughts in my head: why are we here? What is life? What is time? How big is the universe? What is karma? How does karma works? And what is reincarnation? And my spiritual path goes back to, I would say, like 15 or 20 years at this point. I have an amazing group of people, spiritual people that I belong to in back in Hungary, but we don't really touch base every single week or every single month. I only see them when I'm back in Hungary, and I also like read a lot of like spiritual books. Every single year I go to like 1 or 2 retreats. And earlier this year, again, it happened to me that something just wasn't right. And I felt that I need something else. Again, I was like really hungry to like find a little bit like, I wanted to get again, like closer to my soul. And I decided that I'm gonna go down to Mexico and do a 10 days silent retreat. I was really happy about the retreat, and I paid for everything. I registered, and unfortunately I came down with COVID, so I couldn't go. And simultaneously, I met this amazing lady called Pallavi, and she posted something about Samarpan meditation that really caught my eye. So I sent her a private message, and I asked her that what is Samarpan meditation, and could you just give me a little bit of information? And she was really kind. She sent me a beautiful email. She was like explaining me everything. And I found it like really interested, and she invited me to be part of this immersion program, exactly the same program what we are doing right now. It happened back in March, so I'm only practicing Samarpan meditation 60 or something days. It's been only for 2 months for me, but what I can tell you, this group and the meditation itself, it gave me so much. It's really hard to find the right words. I don't know how to like express my feelings, how I feel. It's definitely positive. It's something like beautiful. I just feel more grounded. My head is more clean and clear. And I have a temper, I'm not gonna lie. And what I noticed that like little things in life, they just don't bother me anymore. I just let them go. And before that, I was like picking on always in these like crazy things. And now I don't feel that. I feel much more peace inside of me. And the group is extremely supportive. I never met anybody in person, but I still feel that Shilpa became my friend. And when I think of Vishan, I just feel that he is my brother. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to put anybody on the spot, but that's how I really feel about this group. Everybody is like loving and caring, and it's just so nice to be part of something then bigger than yourself. And as the speakers like told you guys before, that you can like practice like, you know, meditation by yourself at home, but it's just like somehow it's much more powerful when you do it in the group. You can go deeper, and it's just the feeling is just like much like everything is like more like emphasized. So usually I meditate in the morning. I'm a morning person, and I like to do my meditation in the morning, but most of the nights I was like trying to like catch the group meditation at 9 p.m. Also, what I really liked about the 45 days program or like 60-day program, what we just did, the Thursday teaching with Swamiji, honestly, hands down, the highlight of my week every single time. The minute Swamiji started to speak, it was like pre-recorded, so it wasn't live, but the minute he started to speak, I was just like in peace immediately. And I felt this like beautiful, like warmth and fuzzy feeling around my heart chakra. I think like us humans, when it comes to like deep feelings, we always like feel it around our heart. And that feeling was just like undescribable. And I know that we don't necessarily have to like listen to his words, but I was keep like reading the subtitles because he speaks Hindu, and my Hindu is still not good, or like non-existing, let's face it. But I just have to like read the transcript because every single sentence was so deep. It was so deep and so powerful that even the next day I was like thinking about what he was saying. It was just like fantastic. And honestly, I already missing it because we finished that 8 days sessions, and I'm already missing it. It was that amazing. And honestly, I wish nothing else for you guys to just experience the same thing what I have. It was just truly beautiful, and I cannot thank you enough for this group for having me. And thank you so much for everything. And as I said, I just finished a 45 days program with this group, and but that's definitely not the end. This is just the beginning for me. Thank you so much for having me.
One last thing I forgot to mention that I'd like to just, if we go back to the car analogy, you know, to close this out, you know, we have the mind, body, soul, you know, and we don't know where we're going, but we have Swamiji and he's sitting next to us and he's entering the coordinates on the GPS. And one day we will know where we're going. And that's just so comforting, you know, and two people giving their experiences, you know, and it's so hard to describe, but yet it's right there.